What up, guys? It's Alex Sosa again. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the 6 P's of compartment syndrome. And hey, you guys know from my first video, I went through a lot, and compartment syndrome was one of those things. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So, starting out with that, first thing is pain. I've experienced pain in my life before, and most of the time it's been pretty manageable. But this time, my pain was the most intense pain ever. It felt like someone had struck a match, okay, and shoved it up into my leg. Then a few seconds later, it felt like my leg was on fire. I mean, fire. If you wanted to think about putting someone's leg into a hot vat of oil, that's what I was experiencing. At least to me, that's what it felt like. Next thing is paresthesia. Now, paresthesia is the loss of sensation. I could not feel touch or pressure on my legs or feet. Again, all I could feel was the devil's porthole opening up in my leg. Then we get to pallor. Now, pallor is simply a fancy word to say pale and shiny skin. But let's be honest, I'm in a lot of pain here. Lots of pain. Like, if you know me, you know I'm not one to take, narcotics of any kind, no painkillers. Like, I'm not a big fan of them all. However, I was begging. Like, I was like, give me something. That's how bad I was hurting. I was thrashing around like the exorcist on the bed. I was punching the side of the bed. Like, I was in some extreme amount of pain. And so, now, my skin wasn't shiny, to my knowledge, because I have Sasquatch-like legs. So they're pretty hairy. However, I did lose coloration in my legs. So, I did have symptoms of pallor. Now, the next thing that is a pretty big symptom if you have compartment syndrome is paralysis, the loss of movement. I was unable to move my leg, and because I wasn't able to move my leg, the best way I can describe it is it felt like my leg was bound on one of those torture racks from the medieval days. I'm serious. Stiff as a board. Even if you tried to move it all, it just increased the pain through the roof. Like, I hope you never experience, because it really sucks. Next thing is pulselessness. Now, pulselessness is just when you can't find the pulse. And you would think that at this time and stage that these doctors and nurses would be able to find a pulse by now, especially after all the school they went through and all the clinicals that they had to go through. And they spent a lot of time as being students, but no, it was as if they were treasure hunters trying to find the lost city of El Dorado or Atlantis. They had to use an ultrasound to find out that there's no blood flow to my leg. And with all the luck I was having, they even found another blood clot in my femoral artery. Most people aren't going to call it luck, but at this point, it was like, if you find something, you find something. Shoot dang. Then, the last and final thing is a condition called poikilotheria. Now, this is where the temperature of your like can differ from one side to the other. And so usually if you're checking out your legs and you feel one leg and then you feel the other leg, yeah, they can have differences of temperature. But on the same leg, if you can tell a very definite for sure, it's cold on one side, it's warm on the other, you got problems. So you got to watch out for those things. And so, but if you really think now that I am crazy enough to try to move, because I told you moving hurts, to feel my leg, to see if it's hot on one side and cold on the other. You're a pretty good judge of character because I was the kid who just could not resist the opportunity to learn the hard way that yes, the orange hot coil on the stovetop is actually extremely hot and dangerous. Mom, I hate to admit it, but all this time you were right. All along. Which is hard for me to admit, only because of my genius-like intelligence I had when I was 2. Well, guys, that concludes the 6 P's. Now, if you experience one of these at any given time, go and get it looked at. But if you have 2 or more of one of these symptoms, you need to get to the ER immediately. Because the treatment you need to get is no joke. I mean, we're talking about slicing your leg open, clear down to the fascia, which is right next to the bone. I mean, we're talking big old gashes. I might throw a picture just right over here. But I'm telling you, unbelievable gashes. I mean, it almost looks like they tried to take your leg. And in fact, if you don't get treatment, that's exactly what they're going to have to do, is they're going to have to take that leg. So guys, as always, let's keep the positivity going for our happiness. And let's do it to it together.